Bora Hansgrohe have a pretty big problem on my hands. Why the hell have I got a towel on the back of my chair? Hang on. That's not landed very well. Anyway, Bora Hansgrohe. They signed Primoz Roglic recently, which I know isn't that recent, and I've slightly missed a boat on it. But you know what? I'm just going to hope the YouTube algorithm comes around for it again. And Bora have signed Roglic for the sole reason of trying to win the Tour de France, which is a pretty bold move considering that he's never won the Tour de France before. Yes, he's won the Vuelta a España, and he's won the Giro d'Italia, but the Tour de France remains the Achilles heel of Roglic for some reason. And today I want to explain to you why signing Primoz Roglic might be a mistake for Bora Hansgrohe. There's one main reason behind this, which is that Bora Hansgrohe were a team already teetering sort of on the edge of leadership harmony, let's call it. Because they had Jai Hindley, they have Jai Hindley, who won the Giro d'Italia, and they have Alexander Vlasov and Kian Uijtdebroeks. Uijtdebroeks being, I think, the integral pin in this. So they had 3 big GC riders, and there are 3 Grand Tours in a year. So everything remains nice and simple there, except now we have Roglic. The crash magnate himself has come to Bora Hansgrohe, and that is going to make things a little bit more difficult because where do you send Hindley, Vlasov and Uijtdebroeks to try and accommodate for Roglic being in this team? Do you send multiple guys to the Tour with Roglic because you don't really trust the fact that he's going to make it through the 3 weeks unscathed, so therefore you need other people around him? Probably not, because then you're basically throwing the other Grand Tours away. So do you send Hindley, your second best man, to the Giro supported by an Uijtdebroeks or a Vlasov? Maybe, but Vlasov's quite bad at the long climbs, so he won't be that much use in the Tour. So you'd probably send him to the Giro, so you send Uijtdebroeks to the Tour, but then Uijtdebroeks doesn't get his chance. It's a whole mess. It's an absolute mess. Plus the fact that Uijtdebroeks isn't particularly settled in Bora Hansgrohe at the moment. I mean, there's plenty of articles explaining his disgruntlement towards the team. Keeping Uijtdebroeks is a goal for Bora Hansgrohe, but future remains unclear. Uijtdebroeks frustrated with Bora Hansgrohe after bike problems when he finished 14th at the Chrono des Nations. Uijtdebroeks is a goal because he's a talented rider, but our pockets aren't as big as some other teams. That's because you've spent millions on the crash magnet. No wonder you don't have any money, because you've spent it all on a ski jumper who can't stay on his bike and hasn't won the Tour de France before. Do you really think out there? I know there are Primoz Roglic fans who are going to watch this video and you're all going to be a little bit upset by what I'm going to say, but just bear with me. Do you seriously think that Primoz Roglic can win the Tour de France? Against Vingegaard, Pogačar and Evenepoel, do you think that Roglic is going to win? Because I'm not fully convinced. Roglic didn't win it in 2020 when Pogačar was pretty much just out of his teenage years, and Pogačar has only got better since then. So why would Roglic have a better chance of beating Pogačar? And Pogačar's not even the main man you need to be considered about. It's Roglic's now ex-teammate, Jonas Vingegaard, who is the main man who you need to be concerned about. Do you think that he is going to be able to seriously win the Tour?
Are you serious?
Jonas did better than him in the Vuelta this year in 2023 after doing the Tour, so he's more fatigued, than Roglic, who had a better run-up because he'd done the Giro, so he had all that time to prepare. And Roglic finished lower down than Jonas did in the Vuelta. And he finished lower down than his teammate Sepp Kuss, who'd done every single Grand Tour in the 2023 season. You'll have to excuse me for being sceptical about Primoz Roglic's chances about winning the Tour de France, and therefore why Bora Hansgrohe seem perfectly okay with throwing away the kind of team harmony that they had. Because no offence to Hindley or Vlasov here, but I think that Uijtdebroeks really is the future of Bora Hansgrohe. He's like 20 years old, and he did really good in the Vuelta this year on his debut on really long climbs. If you iron out some of his other problems, he's going to be a fantastic contender in the future. But instead, they're focusing so much on the short term with Roglic that they're going to lose their best prospect for the future for the sake of maybe winning the Tour this year. And then when Uijtdebroeks leaves, they'll be left with Vlasov and Hindley and an ageing Roglic, and then they'll be looking in the mirror wondering where it all went wrong. And I'll tell you where it went wrong. It went wrong when you spent €5 million signing the most accident-prone rider in the whole pro peloton.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.